Hi, it's me, Olivia. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel for interesting stories and visit my Patreon page for early access, link in the description. Thanks. We just sat in Jackie's living room sipping on wine and talked, planning the next week. Finally, we were both so sleepy that we couldn't keep our eyes open. Jackie said, "There's only one bedroom and one bed, so I guess you'll be sleeping with me this week. But first we have to get you ready for bed. Take this," handing me a package. "Go in the bathroom, remove all your clothes, and put it on. And then call me." I did as she asked. In the package was a beautiful long black silk nightgown. It felt so good against my hairless body that it defies description. I called Jackie and she showed me the proper way to care for the wig and remove my makeup. She then reminded me to sit to pee. I was a girl this week. We went into the bedroom and crawled into her bed. We were both asleep in a matter of minutes. The week was a blur. We worked on deportment, makeup, choosing clothing to make a certain look. We went to the mall and people watched. We went out to dinner and the movies. We worked on my voice and grammar, finally getting it to be almost natural, but still a little deep for my liking. On Saturday, Jackie said that she had a surprise for me after dinner. I was still eating very little and had lost some weight. I think that the waist cincher that Jackie kept tightening also helped. Over dinner, Jackie said that she was very happy with the progress that we had made and that I shouldn't have any trouble doing Jennifer's part with a couple weeks of play practice. We cleaned up the dinner dishes and Jackie had me go freshen my makeup. While I was in the bedroom, I heard the doorbell and Jackie talking to someone. I walked out into the living room and there was Mrs. Ball, the play director. When she saw me, her jaw nearly hit the floor. "This is Tom?" she asked. "No, my name is Cathy," I said, "at least when I'm dressed like this." "Tom, I mean Cathy, you and Jackie have done a marvelous job and in only a week. If I didn't know that you were you, I would think that you were just a co-ed." And the voice, it sounds so good. "I think that this is going to work." "We think so too," Jackie and I said in unison. We broke out another bottle of wine and 3 glasses, and sat there talking about what had transpired over the past week until the wee hours of the morning. I even spilled the details of my crossdressing to Mrs. Ball. She said that over the years she had suspected that a number of the boys that had been in some of the plays were crossdressers, but I was the only one that she was now sure of. And it would be our secret. After she left, we did our usual routine and crashed. We slept in until noon. I think all the activity of the previous week had caught up with us. We did our usual morning routine, shower, dress, makeup, hair. We then decided to go out for a late lunch. I had become very comfortable and at ease going out dressed as a woman. And this was my last full day that I would be spending dressed this way, or so I thought, as school started tomorrow and I needed to be back to my old self. Once home, it was like being at home, being in Jackie's apartment. We continued working on the fine points. Little things that would make me more passable as Cathy. We decided to celebrate with a nice home-cooked meal. Jackie did the cooking with a little help from Cathy. Of course, there was the ever-present bottle of wine. As we sat there and went over the events of the previous week and how well everything had gone, Jackie then got into the inevitable subject. "I guess that we'll have to start getting you back into boy mode soon. I hope that you can deal with it." "Me too. I've really enjoyed this week. I think it's brought the real me out. You have taught me so much, but I feel that there is much more." "It sounds like you really had fun and that maybe you don't want to stop." There was that twinkle in her eye again. "To be honest, I don't. The clothes, the feelings, and everything are just fantastic and so natural." Taking my hand, she said, "Let's go into the living room where we can be more comfortable. We have some things to talk about." We curled up on her sofa with our wine glasses. And she began with, "You have spent a full week here, sleeping in my bed, sharing chores, letting me show you how to be a girl. And you never once tried to be intimate with me. I was wondering if you were gay or just being a girlfriend. But I'm beginning to see that I'd hoped to see in you. Real femininity in a man. You're a special person. And I think I'm beginning to fall for you." I started to say something, but she held a finger to my lips and said, "Let me finish before you say anything. I have a secret just like yours and I need to tell you before you say anything." And when I'm done, you can get up and leave, and I'll understand completely. I just looked into her eyes, a little puzzled, but with a smile. She continued, I dated a number of guys in high school and even had romantic encounters with a couple of them. It was enjoyable. But something was just missing from the relationship. I also had a couple of romantic experiences with women. These were great, but again something was missing. I started digging in the internet trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I thought that I was going nuts. I found a good counselor and sat down with her, and after a few sessions we decided that I needed someone with the characteristics of both sexes. Someone very soft and feminine, but also having male characteristics. She said that I should read up on gender-fluid individuals. But to be aware that a lot of the sites dealt more with porno than with facts. She gave me a list of sites that dealt more with facts and the psychological aspects of gender-fluid individuals. I spent many hours reading what I could, staying away from the adult-oriented sites. I had found what I needed. The problem was finding someone who was this person. I had noticed you at the theater and took a liking to you from the start. I can't tell you what it was, but there was just something about you. When Jennifer had her accident and we couldn't find anyone to replace her, I came up with a plan to see how you would react to being a female for a while. Your reaction was great. Having you here in your female mode, but knowing that there was a male underneath made me feel very warm and at peace with myself. And my feelings towards you grew stronger the longer we were together. Not because you were dressed as a woman, but because you were you and you have a very deep feminine side. Tom, I'm in love with you. That was the first time in a week that she had used my male name. We just sat there, her with a little tear in her eye, and looked at each other for a minute or two. I then reached over and wiped the tear away and gave her a kiss. It wasn't like our first kiss a week ago, but a very soft and loving kiss. Then I said, Jackie, I've also fallen in love with you, too. I'd had always admired you, and when you came up and talked to me at the theater, I had a big knot in my stomach. What exactly are you asking me to do? To love me for who I am. And to think about living with me in female mode for the rest of the school year to see if you really like it as much as you think you do. I don't want you to make a decision right now, but think about it until the play is over and then tell me. No matter what decision you make, I'll still love you. I sat there again for a minute or two and then gave her another kiss. We spent an hour or two removing Cathy, and it felt really funny not having breasts, hips, a butt, and nails. Over the next 2 weeks, play practice went well. I had my lines down and only needed to learn the blocking. I stopped by Jackie's apartment every day after classes and became Cathy. The cast and stage crew couldn't believe that it was me the first day, but when I changed my voice back to Tom's, they just couldn't believe it. I guess Jackie had done a good job. I did have to make a trip back to see Barb so she could do a touch-up on the wax job. I also had Barb pierce my ears, as a surprise for Jackie. The play went off without a hitch. I did my little part to make it work. The best thing was, during the curtain calls, when I took off my wig and the audience figured out that I was a guy. This made it into the school paper after the first weekend, and the last weekend's performances were standing room only. I was having a ball, and so was Jackie. Jennifer also made it to the last performance in a wheelchair and couldn't believe what she was seeing. We held the cast party after the final performance on Sunday. I stayed in costume, as I just really loved the feeling of the clothes, makeup, and the way everyone treated me as Cathy. Jackie was very nervous. She knew that today was the day that I was going to give her my decision. After a while, I went down to the girls' dressing room and removed my costume and stage makeup, put back on Cathy's makeup and clothes, and went to meet Jackie back in the green room. Mrs. Ball saw me walk back in, walked over, and said with a wink, Cathy, you always look so nice, even in casual clothes. Is this a permanent change? I looked at her, smiled, and said, you never know. She just smiled. I found Jackie in the crowd, took her hand, and said, let's get out of here. I didn't have to say it twice. Mrs. Ball said, as we walked past her on the way out, thank you for all your work. The two of you really put a lot of work into this play. Enjoy the evening. We looked at her and smiled and said in unison, we will. We were beginning to think alike. Jackie and I walked hand in hand back to her apartment. We did get a couple of strange looks from other people. But who cares? I could also tell that she was very nervous because she was chattering on about nothing. Something she just doesn't do. When we got there, the infamous bottle of wine and 2 glasses came out. We curled up on the sofa, as we had many times before, and sat there and looked at each other. She finally broke the silence. I can't stand it any longer. Please tell me. I jokingly said, tell you what? Am I supposed to tell you something? At which point, she hit me with a pillow and said, please tell me. You're driving me nuts. I did some research, starting with those same websites that you started with. It was very interesting. I think that I would like to try it. I'm really enjoying being Cathy and think that I'd like to take it a step or 2 farther. What did you have in mind? At this point her smile came back and that twinkle was there. I knew that I was in for something interesting. To start, I would like you to move in here for the rest of the school year. You can dress as Cathy as much as you like and become more Cathy than Tom if you like. I will help you in any way that I can. How far would you like to take this? As far as you would like to. If you want to keep it to dressing, that's fine. If you want to go farther, go farther. Well, if you researched as deep as I did, you learned that a number of gender-fluid individuals as really pre-op transsexuals. I wouldn't really want you going that far, I mean changing sexes. But I would be willing to help you with anything that we agreed on. This is a very important decision that I feel we both need to work on. Your body hair will start coming back in soon. Do you think we should do something about it? Yes. I actually visited Barb for a touch-up last week. But there has to be a better way. I also had her pierce my ears and you haven't even noticed. You visited Barb on your own? I'm proud of you. And you had your ears pierced? Let me see. I showed her the little diamond studs that Barb had placed in my ears. She then said, very nice choice and a real statement. I have some real nice earrings that I'll share with you once your ears heal. As far as the hair removal goes, there are better, more permanent ways. There have been some real advances in laser epilation. I can set up an appointment for next week and we can go talk to them. I have only one thing that is really bothering me. What that, honey? Honey. That's the first time she has called me that. Nice, I liked it. Who is paying for all this? I know that you have already spent a small fortune on clothing, not to mention the breast forms, waxing, makeup. And I know you don't have a job. That's another one of my little secrets. I was orphaned when I was 4 and lived with my grandparents until I started college, and they passed away 2 years ago. I was left a trust that pays for school and living expenses. I'll have the whole amount when I turn 25 or get married. I'm really sorry to hear about all of that. So, how many more little secrets do you have? Oh, not many. So, what do you think about the laser idea? I've never liked my body hair. Make the call. Tomorrow. Now something else. She moved over next to me on the sofa and we shared a passionate kiss. The kisses were very soft and sweet, something like what I think 2 girls would kiss like. You have more to learn, she said, how to love like a girl, with certain added extras. I'll be a good student. And I know you'll be a good teacher. She stood up and led me to the room for a private moment. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access. Thanks.